Now I would like to explain about the two-port networks. So first the definition of port, PORT, a pair of terminals so through which a single current flows and across which there is a single voltage. Here A comma B, pair of terminals. So these two terminals are called one port. It is one linear network. Here only one current is present and only one voltage is present. This is called port voltage and it is called port current. So finally a pair of terminals is called port. If a network having only one pair of terminals, it is called one port network. So next two port. So same, if a network having two pair of terminals, so it is called two port network. If a network having two pair of terminals, it is called two port network. Here this is first port. So 1 comma 1 dash, two terminals. This is first port. So next one 2 comma 2 dash. This is second port. 2 comma 2 dash are two terminals. This is second port. So first port 1 comma 1 dash, second port 2 comma 2 dash. So V1 I1 are first port voltage and first port current. So V2 I2 are second port voltage and second port current. Next this V1 V2 I1 I2 are called network variables. So by using V1 V2 I1 I2, the two port network parameters can be specified into the following types. So first Z parameters, Y parameters, H parameters, ABCD parameters and inverse hybrid parameters. These are the different types of two port network parameters. So any two-port network parameters can be specified by selecting two independent and two dependent variables from V1, V2 and I1, I2. So by selecting any two independent and another two remaining two dependent, the two-port network parameters can be specified. So first one Z parameters. So in Z parameters, the specified parameters. So independent parameters are I1 comma I2, dependent parameters or dependent variables are V1, V2. These parameters are also called as impedance parameters. The impedance parameters are Z11, Z12, Z21 and Z22. In case of Z parameters, V1, V2 are dependent variables, I1, I2 are independent variables. In matrix form representation, this is voltage matrix, this is current matrix, this is impedance parameters matrix. So V1, V2 equals to Z11, Z12, Z21, Z22, current matrix I1, I2. So next by using matrix multiplication, we can write the voltage equations V1 and V2. So V1 equals to Z11 into I1 plus Z12 I2. V2 equals to Z21 I1 plus Z22 I2. These two are voltage equations in terms of impedance parameters. So by using the above equations, we can find Z11, Z12, Z21 and Z22. So this is one two-port network. Here 1 comma 1 dash, first port terminals, 2 comma 2 dash, second port terminals. V1 first port voltage, I1 first port current, V2 second port voltage, I2 second port current. Here the port 1 is also called as input port. Port 2 is also called as output port. So next V1 V2 equations. We know that V1 equals to Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2. V2 equals to Z21 I1 plus Z22 I2. So in order to find Z11 and Z21, so we have to set I2 equals to 0. If we set I2 equals to 0, by using these two equations, we can find Z11 and Z21 in terms of V1, V2, I1. So similarly, if we want to find Z12 and Z22, then we have to set I1 equals to 0. So in any circuit, we can set current 0 by opening the circuit. So if we want to set I2 0, it means second port should be open circuit. If we want I1 equals to 0, first port should be open circuit. So first to find case 1, find Z11 and Z21. So to find Z11, Z21, I2 must be 0. So I2 equals to 0 means second port should be open circuit. So by making I2 equals to 0, that means by opening second port, if we open port, then corresponding port current value becomes 0. If we short any port, then corresponding port voltage becomes 0. Here we required current becomes 0. So open port 2. So I2 equals to 0. If I2 equals to 0, substitute in equations 1 and 2. If I2 0, V1 equals to Z11 I1 plus Z12 into 0. So V1 equals to Z11 into I1. So Z11 equals to V1 by I1 at I2 equals to 0. So next from equation 2 is V2 equals to Z21 I1 plus Z22 I2. If I2 equals to 0, so V2 equals to Z21 I1 plus Z22 into 0. So Z21 equals to V2 by I1 at I2 equals to 0. So next find Z12 and Z22. So from equations 1 and 2, if we set I1 equals to 0, we can find Z12 and Z22. Substitute I1 0 in equations 1 and 2. So first from equation 1. So V1 equals to Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2. Here I1 equals to 0. So V1 equals to Z11 into 0 plus Z12 into I2. So Z12 equals to V1 by I2. Z12 equals to V1 by I2 at I1 equals to 0. Similarly from equation 2. So V2 equals to equation Z21 I1 plus Z22 I2. If I1 equals to 0, so Z22 becomes V2 by I2 at I1 equals to 0. Here Z11 equals to V1 by I1, Z12 equals to V1 by I2, Z21 equals to V2 by I1, Z22 equals to V2 by I2. So we can find Z11 and Z21 by keeping I2 equals to 0, and Z12, Z22 we can find by keeping I1 equals to 0. So by opening second port we can find Z11, Z22. By opening first port we can find Z12 and Z22. Here Z11 is called open circuit input impedance. Why? Because V1, I1 are input parameters, V2, I2 are output parameters. So at open circuit condition we are finding Z parameters. So Z11 is called open circuit input impedance, and Z22 equals to V2 by I2. V2 by I2 output voltage by output current at open circuit condition. So Z22 is called output impedance, open circuit output impedance. So next Z12, Z21 are called transfer impedances. So input voltage by output current, output voltage by input current. So here, so different ports, voltage and currents are there. That's why these parameters are called transfer impedance parameters. So Z1 to Z12 are called transfer impedance parameters. So Z equals to finally we can say voltage by current. So units of Z parameters are ohms. So next similarly Y parameters. So this is two-port network. So here port 1 V1 I1, port 1 variables, V2 I2 port 2 variables. So in this case independent variables are V1 V2, dependent variables are I1 I2. In matrix form representation, first current matrix, next admittance matrix, next one voltage matrix. I1 I2 equals to Y11 Y12 Y21 Y22 V1 V2. Dependent variables I1 I2, independent variables V1 V2. Y parameters matrix Y11 Y12 Y21 Y21. So in equation form I1 equals to, by matrix multiplication we can find I1 I2 equations. So I1 equals to Y11 V1 plus Y12 V2. Similarly I2 equals to Y21 V1 plus Y22 V2. Equations 1 and 2. Here we can find Y11 and Y21 by making V2 equals to 0. So V2 means second port voltage. So voltage 0 in short circuit condition. So in order to set V2 equals to 0, second port should be short circuit. So by making V2 equals to 0, that means by closing or short circuiting the second port, V2 becomes 0. So next substitute V2 equals to 0 in equations 1 and 2. So I1 equals to Y11 V1 plus Y12 V2 0. So Y11 equals to I1 by V1 at V2 equals to 0. It is at short circuit condition. I1 is input current, V1 is input voltage. So it is called admittance. So Y11 is also called as short circuit input admittance. So next from equation 2. So equation 2 is I2 equals to Y21 V1 plus Y22 V2. V2 equals to 0. So I2 equals to Y21 V1 plus 0. Y21 equals to I2 by V1 at V2 equals to 0. So it is called as short circuit transfer admittance. Short circuit transfer admittance. So next find y12 and y22. So equations, current equations I1 I2. Now we have to find y12 and y22. In order to find y12 and y22, so we set v1 equals to 0. So v10 means when v1 becomes 0, if port 1 is short circuited, then v1 becomes 0. So by short circuiting port 1, v1 becomes 0. So substitute v1 equals to 0 in equations 1 and 2. I1 equals to y110 plus y12 v2. So y12 equals to I1 by v2 at v1 equals to 0. So next similarly from equation 2 is I2 equals to y21 I1 y21 v1 plus y22 v2. If v1 equals to 0, y22 equals to I2 by v2 at v1 equals to 0. Here y12 equals to I1 by v2 at v1 equals to 0, short circuit condition. So y12 is called short circuit transfer admittance. y22 equals to I2 by v2 at v1 equals to 0. v10 means short circuit condition. I2 is output current, v2 is output voltage. So it is called short circuit output admittance. So y11 is short circuit input admittance, y22 is short circuit output admittance, y1 to y21 are short circuit transfer admittances. So y11 formula, y21 formula, y12, next y22. So in order to find y11 and y21, so v2 equals to 0. So E2 equals to 0 means second port short circuit condition. So to find y11 and y21, so we have to short circuit the second port. So similarly, if you want to find y12 and y22, so we have to short circuit port 1. So finally, the units of y parameters are mhos, 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 units of y parameters.